If you're new to investing, it can be a very scary landscape out there. There's lots of different terms to learn. You're also worried about potentially losing your money, and you may not know where to invest your cash for the best return. When I started out investing, I felt exactly the same, and I wanted to be sure that I was doing the right thing and wasn't putting my cash at unnecessary risk. After doing a little bit of research around different investment platforms, I chose Vanguard because of its exceptionally cheap fees. And I stumbled across a product that it offered called the Lifestrategy. Now, if you've caught my portfolio updates before, you'll know that I talk about the Lifestrategy 100 quite a bit because it was the first investment product that I ever bought. The main benefits of the Lifestrategy suite of funds are that they're essentially pre-made portfolios, but you can still have some impact as to the weighting to stocks and bonds that fit your risk appetite. They're essentially a diversified basket of diversified funds, so there's layers to this. And to top it all off, like with most Vanguard funds, they are incredibly cheap. Now, the Lifestrategy is on the more expensive end of the spectrum when it comes to Vanguard platform itself, but it's still comparatively cheap when considering other investment providers. Because I've now sold out of my Lifestrategy investment, opting for 6 different ETFs to hold within my portfolio for a slightly cheaper price, and I haven't actually discussed the Lifestrategy 100 on my channel for well over 2 years, so I thought today it was a perfect opportunity to hop in and actually explore the Lifestrategy 100 with you, because it could be the first investment that you need in your portfolio. Just before we get into it, if you do enjoy content like this or you find this at all useful to support your own investing journey, please do hit that subscribe button down below. It's changed colour a little bit, but still in the same place. Like the video if you get any value out of it, and if you've got any questions about anything that I go through today, please drop a comment down below and I'll make sure to get back to you. When you land on the Vanguard homepage, the easiest way to find the Lifestrategy suite of funds are by going to what we offer. And you can see a listed breakdown here of the different types of funds that are offered on the platform. We're of course interested in the Lifestrategy, so we'll click on that and it will pull us through to the Lifestrategy homepage. And you'll see that Vanguard actually offer 5 different Lifestrategies at the moment. They offer the Lifestrategy 20%, 40%, 60%, 80%, and then the Lifestrategy 100, which is the one we're going to spend a little bit of time looking at today. If you do want me to break down each of the other Lifestrategy variants, let me know in the comments below and I'll make sure to do a similar video talking about the 20, 40, 60 and 80% Lifestrategy. So from this dashboard screen we can see a basic overview of the fund. Much like the title, we are getting 100% in shares and 0% in bonds. And that's different from some of these other ones up here. So the 80% Lifestrategy, for example, only actually has 79% in shares and has actually 21% in bonds. So you can see they're sometimes not exactly representative of the title. The Lifestrategy 100 though is spot on. It's a global fund, meaning that it invests in the entire global market. It's got a risk rating of 5 out of 7. All Vanguard funds are rated from 0 or 1 to 7 for some reason. Not sure why it's not all the way up to 10. But this is on the riskier side of the asset allocation because it's entirely in the stock market. The management type is index, which means obviously it's not actively managed. It's just an accumulation of different index funds. And it currently holds 7,448 holdings. Essentially what that means is that by investing in just one fund, you get access to well over 7,000 different companies. If you're looking for diversification, look no further. The ongoing charge fee for this is just 0.22%, which is very, very competitive. What that means is that for every £1,000 invested in this product, you'll pay just £2.20 in fees per year. Really not too bad at all. To get a far more detailed breakdown of this fund though, we need to click through to full fund details, and this pulls you through to the Lifestrategy 100 homepage. The first thing you'll notice is up the top, you've got 2 different options. You can invest in this fund as an accumulation fund or an income variant. The easiest way to go is to invest as an accumulation variant, and this means it is completely hands-off for you. If you set up a monthly direct debit, you literally have to do nothing whatsoever. An accumulation variant essentially means that any dividends paid to you will go into the value of that fund itself. Whereas an income variant, you'll get paid an income into your account, which you would then have to go back in and reallocate. So you'd then have to go and buy more Lifestrategy units. Whereas the accumulation variant essentially does it all for you. It reinvests that cash automatically into the value, so the compounding effect can take hold immediately. You can see that the total value of one unit of this accumulation variant at the moment is just under £280, and it has fallen a little bit over the last few days. And if we pull down even further, you can see a breakdown of the past performance, seeing that it is actually up in 3 years out of the last 5, with a slight down year throughout the COVID period, and a slight down year this year so far, as we could probably expect. And you can pull down even further and see that the past performance based on a lump sum investment. So if you invested £10,000 back in July of 2011, that same £10,000 would now be valued at £26,450. So an increase of over 160%. We'll click through to the price and performance, which will break down the price over time, which is we're not going to go into too much detail about. But you can also see a price analysis over the last 18 months, so to current day to the last 18 months. You've also got the past performance here again, and then a past performance based on lump sum investments. So you can see over the last year it is actually down, but like I said, since inception we are up over 160%, which isn't too bad at all. The thing that I really want to hone in on though is the portfolio data, which shows you exactly what you'll be investing in. And you can see that here under the portfolio data screen. It breaks down the 10 or so different funds that you'll be investing in by investing in just this one life strategy product. While the Life Strategy 100 is an excellent place to put your cash if you're brand new to investing, the slight downfall, in my eyes anyway, is its heavy bias to the United Kingdom. Now, while that's not necessarily a bad thing, it is not indicative of the market capitalisation of the global market. And the reason Vanguard say they've done this is to ensure a positive home bias for people investing in the United Kingdom. Whether or not that's the best thing for you is obviously down to you to consider, but it's just worth bearing in mind when you invest in this product that it does have large exposure to the United Kingdom in the form of the UK All Share Index Trust, the FTSE 100, and the FTSE 250. All in, it's got an exposure to the UK of around 26.4%, but one thing to definitely bear in mind is that companies based in the United Kingdom do earn their income outside of the UK as well. So you do have that kind of layer of diversification just to bear in mind. If you look through the full list of funds, you can see just how diversified you will be by investing in this one fund. This fund includes the Vanguard FTSE UK All Share Index Trust, the Vanguard FTSE Developed World ex-UK Equity Index Fund, the Vanguard US Equity Index Fund in GBP accumulation. So just those first three essentially gives you exposure to the full developed world. We've then got large exposure to the gold standard of investing, the S&P 500, and then we've got a little bit of emerging markets here, only around 8.2%, so maybe a little less than you'd see in some other platforms and some other products, but still a nice bit of weighted exposure to emerging markets like Brazil, China, etc. It's in these emerging markets that there is the potential to make quite a bit of money, so it is great to have some exposure to it within your portfolio. We've then got the Vanguard FTSE Developed Europe ex-UK Index Fund. We've got the FTSE 100, which I've already mentioned, and some exposure to Japan as well. Again, slightly less than the actual market capitalisation of Japan, but obviously that's because of the UK bias. We've got the Asia Pacific ex-Japan, so kind of Australasia and Oceania, and then we've got the FTSE 250 at a very, very small percentage. All in, as we mentioned earlier, that gives you full access to over 7,440 different companies. The distributions tab shows you what you can expect to make in dividends, and at the moment this fund pays around 1.99% in dividends, which goes straight back into the value of the fund if you're investing through the accumulation variant, which I would suggest if you are brand new to it. The only other thing to really bear in mind is that if you haven't opened a Vanguard account before, your first investment has got to be of either £500 or you have to commit to investing £100 via a direct debit for the first few months, but it's definitely worthwhile doing. There are other index funds or ETFs that you could invest in for global diversification, for example the Vanguard All World ETF or the Vanguard All Cap Index Fund. But the Life Strategy will always be put in a special place for me because it was the first thing that I ever invested in, and it opened me up to the world of investing. So I really hope you have found this basic introduction to the Life Strategy 100 useful. And if you are sat there at 18, 19, 20 thinking, I really want to get started investing now, but I haven't got the cash, check out this video next, which will show you exactly how you can make tax-free cash every single month. And if you're looking for inspiration, check out how far my portfolio has come in just over 3.5 years.